What?
And she's slightly embarrassed by it. And one of the pleasures of knowing Erin is when I first knew her, she was young and slightly clueless about men. As opposed to now, where she's 4 years older and even more clueless. Part of this journey was, when I knew her, she'd had very few... Oh, by the way, I should have an advisory warning. There may be some graphic scenes from Erin's sex life. If anyone's embarrassed about that, they should just leave now. So part of the joy of knowing Erin was that every time I saw her, she would, every 6 months or so, would be punctuated by a tale of a new sexual encounter. Or a love life encounter, I could rarely tell them apart. But on one momentous occasion, I came into the bar where we both frequent, and she was very excited. And I believe, I can't remember who said this, but I don't remember this. Anyway, the moment that was being got across was a phrase which is something like, I got to double figures. And the basic thing that I remember was thinking was, oh my god, that would be such a good song. So I strangely promised to write at least the lyrics to a song. And for about a year I've been promising to write the lyrics to a song. And she said, oh, you should come to this gathering where you can just read it out. So I started writing it. And so what you're about to hear is what I wrote. It's slightly, well, the bad news is it's actually written down, so it's less spontaneous than what you've been hearing so far. But the good news is I did write most of it this afternoon, so it's now, the song is called, what is it called? To read it out.
Getting to double figures.
Yes.
Or a hymn to the love life of Erin Salon.
A hymn to the love life of Erin Salon. Now, I think it is a hymn, although I think the correct genetic term should be a peon, because a peon is the hymn that you serve up to the gods when you know something's gone terribly wrong and you're looking for a cure. So in that spirit, this is not, I gave this to her ages ago.
About 7 minutes ago.
So forgive her for getting the rhymes wrong.
Yeah.
Off you go. If there's anyone who wants to put this to music, talk to me.
I recall my childish pleasure in counting up to 10. The sense of purpose and elation, and though it's many years since then, I found a puzzling correlation between my journey through the fingers and my journey through men. My first was sweet and nice. I thought we'd have a ball, but who would ever think he'd turn out to be so nice? But I lacked love experience, and so couldn't then recall that we start counting on the pinky. Hardly a digit at all. My second was older and caring, and I longed for him to linger, since we fitted like a hand in glove, or a ring on a wedding finger. But then I slipped my hand in his pocket, to being our familiar play, and I found a pinky-sized locket with a pic of his wife on their wedding day. So, I sought for stability and sexual trust in the arms of my roommate and friend, and discovered some strange sexual law that when you add the word boy to friend, the kind soul and confidant you once knew turns into a passive-aggressive little shit who is convinced you are flirting with all his friends and starts lingering around you as you have phone conversations while somehow still thinking it's okay to hit on all your friends, but the last straw is when he hacks into your email account and says it's only because he's worried about you and wants to check up on your strange behavior because he cares so much about you, sweetie, so much, which is when you know it's time for the friendship to end. Care and trust and love can decay. Who knew it? The war between friendship and sex is love's riddle. So we exchanged one last kiss and some bodily fluid, and I gave my third lover the finger in the middle. The fourth always prodded and pointed and showed me where everything went. And though I'm double-jointed, I couldn't quite bend to that extent. Still, sex is an education just as much as basic addition. And my fourth was my indication. I like dominance more than submission. The thumb sticks out at an angle. It goes its own flamboyant way. So why did I get in a tangle when the fifth guy turned out to be gay? But benefits needn't be sexual. You can gain as much as you lose. I now know Liza, and Judy, and show tunes, and have marvelous taste in shoes. The next 5 told much the same story, to leave me bemused and bereft. If you can't count on the right hand to find Mr. Right, then why should you count on the left? Still, one's sex life begins at 30, and as my paltry tally grows, whatever I've done with my fingers will be kinkier done on my toes.